For 15 years, the All India Trinamool Congress held an unshakable grip on West Bengal. They built a political fortress secured by direct cash transfers and massive welfare initiatives. This 2021 chart shows that fortress. Green columns represent the incumbent's commanding majority of 215 seats, dwarfing the opposition's 77. But watch 2026. Orange columns surge to 207 seats, nearly a 46% vote share, while the incumbent collapses to 80. It leaves us with a stark paradox. Why would an electorate decisively reject the very government that had spent over a decade financially sustaining them? The first real fracture appeared back in 2021, when Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee lost her own seat in Nandigram. That localized defeat set the stage for a much larger breach in 2026, when her party lost control of its long-held stronghold in Bhavanipur. The anger stems directly from daily life. Urban voters were exhausted by administrative stagnation, facing severe waterlogging, crippled traffic, and decaying infrastructure that made simple commutes a daily struggle. Decades of ignoring the structural rot finally caught up with the administration, breaching their South Bengal stronghold from the inside out. Historically, the incumbent party commanded intense loyalty from female voters, primarily through the Lakshmi Bhandar scheme, which deposited cash directly into their accounts every month. That trust broke in August 2024. The tragic rape and murder at R.G. Kar Medical College ignited massive public outrage, turning a once loyal voting bloc into a wave of fierce anti-incumbency. The opposition capitalized on this anger. They campaigned on a platform of strict accountability and security, a strategy that peaked when the victim's mother successfully ran for a seat in the assembly. Monthly cash transfers lose their value entirely when the state cannot guarantee a woman's physical safety. Meanwhile, young and working-class voters were hitting an economic breaking point. Public frustration boiled over regarding systemic corruption, highlighted by massive school recruitment scams and a localized extortion network heavily referred to as the Syndicate Raj. Sensing the frustration, the opposition pitched a massive industrial revival. They promised single-window clearances for businesses and the resurrection of historically stagnant manufacturing zones like Singapore. Forced to choose, young voters walked away from short-term welfare dependency, voting instead for the possibility of transparent governance and actual job creation. Analytical. We can see the demographic catalyst for the election in this data map. Notice these disappearing notes. They represent the Special Intensive Revision, a massive administrative purge that abruptly deleted roughly 9 million voters, or 12% of the electorate. This caused widespread panic, particularly among the Matuanama Sudra community. The BJP secured this vital voting bloc by stepping in and promising permanent federal protection through the Citizenship Amendment Act. Faced with administrative chaos and the terrifying prospect of losing their rights, marginalized voters chose federal citizenship protection over state-level welfare. That panic resulted in an astonishing 92.9% voter turnout. Yet this high metric was driven entirely by the fear of losing citizenship status rather than standard political enthusiasm. To secure their names on the rolls, millions of migrant workers undertook grueling cross-country journeys back to Bengal, spending precious wages just to cast a physical ballot and prove their existence. And when they arrived, they faced harsh physical realities on the ground, exhausting queues and intense heat, all for the right to push a button on an electronic voting machine. This record-breaking turnout stands as a logistical anomaly, triggered by a severe crisis of access. The millions of displaced workers and the chaos of the deleted voter rolls expose a glaring vulnerability in relying strictly on physical, location-based electoral infrastructure. This network map illustrates a necessary technological evolution: secure digital voting platforms. This architecture would allow migrants, the elderly, and displaced citizens to securely cast their votes from anywhere. There are valid concerns about digital platforms, primarily hacking or coercion, but those risks must be weighed against our current reality, where millions are already disenfranchised by geographic barriers and flawed paper records. To ensure the panic of 2026 never happens again, The future of West Bengal's democracy has to be built on modernized digital infrastructure rather than relying solely on political promises.